Hello and welcome to Vishesh's Web Dev Crash Course Unit 1 and Lesson 2, which it's the second lesson where we're actually doing some coding besides writing in the terminal, so it's lesson 2. So today we're going to learn about, as the title suggests, headers, tables, and footers. I had hinted at this last time, so it kind of breaks the whole point if I don't actually do it. So here we've got a header. I'll show you here. So we've got a header element, a table element, and a footer element. Inside each of these, got your H1 inside the header. Then your table, it's got, I'll show that later. And your footer, it's got your stuff inside. So the header and the footer, just by itself, it doesn't actually affect how it's shown on your browser. But when we start getting into CSS and whatnot, it does get quite useful to use headers and footers. Like you might have seen in like some of those websites, the headers just floating up top. Like when you start scrolling back up, your header's back up there, and your footer's just always at the bottom of the screen. So it's a good practice to start using header and footer elements. The table, it's a little bit different. It's kind of a whole other topic, but I like to compress things. So inside your table, you've got a table body. It's just like your regular body, except it's in the table. In your table body, you've got table rows because this is how the code is arranged. So inside your body, you just state all of the rows that you have. So seeing this, the browser immediately knows you have 4 rows. As you can see, it's getting highlighted over here for every row. Inside the rows, we've got th, which is a table header. That's why it's bold without needing to apply any CSS or special elements. I can just write it in there. And for the rest, it's just table. Uh, I really don't know what the D stands for, but something. So as you can see, it's a nice reoccurring code sequence. It does get a little bit it does get a little bit repetitive, but it does the job. So this is tables. It's quite a bit of code, but no, well, not really. But if you're doing big tables, it does get quite long. But luckily, it's not too hard. So we are going to create a site that looks like this. Now, based off this information, can we see whether in our now empty, just don't get Copilot to do the whole thing for you, just that's cheating. But it can like do autofills, that's not cheating. So let's see whether you can actually do the whole thing by yourself without my help. Obviously, in the last video, we've initialized the empty Git repository here. Well, it's not empty anymore, but we've initialized the Git repository. So like when you think that you've made a good checkpoint, just go back to that checkpoint, like just add it as a commit. So pause the video and see whether you can make this by yourself. And if you get stuck, just resume it and I'll help you. So, assuming you didn't ask Copilot to write the entire thing for you, I'm gonna help you through the process. So, hopefully what you did, you got your boilerplate. I'm really hoping you didn't type out the whole thing like doc type. You can just press exclamation and it does the whole thing for you, as you can see here. And then you can just change this to whatever my site, because why not? And now we've reached our body. Oh, the reason you can see this little line, that's because it's showing that something has been edited. So like before it's all empty, but it's edited. So if you add something new, oh, it won't let you because, yeah, it won't let you. Like, I think it's because we've just started. It's a bug. So you'll show like green where you've added new things, but because you started with a completely empty file, it doesn't let you do that. So hopefully you've got your H1 inside. Why did I press caps lock? Or we might as well just put headers, tables, and footers. So hopefully you've got managed to get your H1 embedded inside your header element, and you managed to get your P element embedded inside your footer. Say this is actually a special little thing. This adds the little copyright symbol. You might not know that. Well, you know it now. So just add, if you just tap just that end symbol and start writing, like it shows a whole bunch of symbols like that. It's cool. So hopefully you've managed to add your P element, and so that's your headers and footers that you've managed to have done. So you can just right click on here and copy path. If any of you have actually remembered Shift Alt C, just let me know in the comments because I definitely did not know. Copy path. Oh, the reason you're seeing this M and this color, as you learned last video, the other ones, they're like, this is a new file, untracked file. This is a new file that you've created. And M means modified, which is cool. So if we just go and check it out, what we've done. So it seems to have worked pretty well. If we go into developer settings, it seems to be done pretty well. So we can just add this as like commit. Obviously, first we need to git add this. So like we're adding this to what we've done. It is now in the staging area where if you want, so like essentially this is saved. So for whatever reason you didn't save it, but you've done this and it crashed or Visual Studio Code stopped working, you can still, yeah, you can still retrieve it. Git commit dot dash m added headers and footers table yet to be added, and that's your commit. So now if we go back to source control, you can see, let it load, that in our local master we've got our new file, but then in the cloud we've only got this. So to do that, we just do git push, and it's done. Almost. Not quite. It takes a bit of time. There we go. Also, a really neat thing that you can do if you go to your GitHub, reload it, and assuming you've already gone to settings, pages, and deploy from branch master.root and save that, then you should be able to just visit the site. I think you did this. You guys did it. Obviously, since we've just done it, it's still deploying, which you can see here just by tapping that. Details. Build summary. Oh, it's done. So now if we go here, go ahead and refresh it. You can see our code, or you can see our site. And it's exactly the same, except for the URL, of course. This HTTPS, this is a file. And it's the abomination of the long thing. It's just, yeah. So, that's that. We can just go back to our repository. And if we check our code, it should have updated. See, it shows what we've got here. You can edit the code in GitHub using the little edit, but let's be honest, Visual Studio Code, it's got like all of the autofill and it's got AI that just, it's not in here. Also, in case you're wondering, the blame, it just shows like how old the commits are. Like there's 2 minutes ago, so it'll be new. Like if you added some other stuff, that means it'll be a little bit, it'll be newer, and this will be a little bit older on this. So that's that. Now if we go back to Visual Studio Code, we can now add our table. So as you can see, it shows this now. It shows the little green thing, which added lines. Okay, that's a interesting idea from AI, but we're not doing that. Table t body tr, then th table header. Oh, we don't need it to be like that. We can just make it. It always happens. Don't know why. We can just check it back in what we're meant to be seeing. Back here. First name, last name, and age. So we just go here. First name, last name, and what was it? Age. Age. So that's our first row done. We can continue coding. TR. Remember, it's not TH, it's TD. I'm not 19, I'm 13. Sure, I'll take it. I'm 19 now. So let's see what it was. It was John Doe and 30 years old. John Doe, and he was 30. Next one. Okay. Not sure how you did that. Why you're not cooperating. Jane Smith. Jane Smith. Okay, so that doesn't work. Guess what? It tries to complete it for me, and that happens to be exactly what I want. 25. Next, Mike Johnston, 40. 40. Johnston at. Oop. Sorry. Well, that's decided not to work. I'm gonna need to do it manually. Not sure why it should work. My computer's lagging. How old is Mike? That's not good. 40. And that's it. So now we can save that. and go in here, git add dot. Make sure you add the dot so that adds all the files. If you don't have the dot, that means it will wonder, what are you trying to add? Obviously, instead of the doc, you can go the whole horde like index.html and it'll do it. So like if you've got like some files which you want to add, other files which you don't, you can do it this way. But I like using dot. Then git commit dot dash m. That's just add a table. Might as well. Nice spelling. And that should do it almost. Now we just push it to our remote, our origin/master, our cloud file, and it should automatically push that there. So when we go check it out there, here, just refresh it. It should show up the latest. Yep, added table completed, and it's still pending. Here we go. It's completed building. Now it just does both of these at once. This is finished reporting build status, and it's almost. That's odd. It shows it's done, but it also shows it isn't. Still counting up. Probably should refresh it. Probably something is bug. You can bug report that. Probably should. See, it is done. Here, just refresh it, and it's done. It's not exactly here, but let's be honest. This is lame. It's okay. So in the next lesson, I actually don't know. What should we do in the next lesson? Well, if you want to find out, see you there.